Hello, welcome back to another player interview with the Transfer Portal CFB presented by NoContextCFB. We're thrilled to have another member of North Dakota State on with us this week. We've got tight end Noah Gindorff. What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm good, you guys. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
We're thrilled to have you. We just interviewed Cody Mauk the other day and had a tremendous time speaking with him. Y'all have won a lot of national titles. I believe 4 each. That's insane to think about. And Andrewster, you haven't won a natty yet, but one of the what? Don't look at me like that. You haven't won one. We're thrilled to have you.
Of course not. I'm not a college football player.
We're thrilled to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. Hopefully I can get my first natty soon. However that may happen.
Yeah, maybe it will. We'll dive right into things though. Noah, I know as a recruit, you're out there, kind of low key, I guess. I know you're a 3-star, but Minnesota made that late charge. They made a late offer, and you committed to NDSU the next week. What did that Minnesota offer mean to you as a Minnesota kid, and then what made you end up heading to Fargo to play for NDSU?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, obviously from Minnesota, that was always kind of my dream school, where I wanted to end up. And after going through, like junior day visits and then camps before my senior year, it kind of came down to, I knew I either wanted to go to Minnesota or NDSU. And at the end of the summer before my senior year, picked up the offer from NDSU, didn't get one from Minnesota. So at that time, I committed to NDSU and, was committed there for 6 months and had no recruiting, no nothing, and just built up a really good connection with the coaching staff here. And then that's actually just about 2 weeks before signing day was when Minnesota hired PJ Fleck. And, he came in and I obviously had to listen to what he had to say, new coaching staff and stuff like that. And he ended up extending an offer to me. But at that point, I had been committed to NDSU for so long that it kind of just felt like home here. And, once I committed, the coaches didn't just kind of put it on the back burner and move to the next guy. They continuously kept recruiting me. And, that was really big for me. They showed that they cared and they really felt like family. And, looking back on it, I have zero regrets in my decision.
We've heard so much, that one word between North Dakota State and their players, family. That's just such a strong word for that program. And, I'm glad that you and everyone else says it like that means so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And obviously, it's everyone in the program. It's not just like the players. It's the true culture that, long before the team that we have now has been created of, the coaching staff and the players and the strength staff and everyone working together for this one common goal that we're chasing every single season. So that obviously is a really tight bond that we all have.
Yeah, I love that word culture because that can make or break a program. Do you think that something like that, the culture that was instituted by the coaches, do you think that's one of the biggest reasons North Dakota State has been so dominant for so long?
Absolutely. I think, a big part of our success is, I don't necessarily think we have the best athletes in the country or anything like that. I mean, there's good players all over the country. But I think the difference comes down to, how hard we work and how detailed our coaching staff is. And, the way we've been doing it was set way back a long time ago. Just the way that we prepare, the way that we practice, everything, this culture that we built here. And it's either just kind of buy in or get out, it's not for everyone, obviously, the way that we practice, the way that we prepare, but just seeing the effort and the time that our coaching staff puts into putting together a game plan, and then the amount of time that they're willing to spend working with younger players to develop them, it's just kind of all culminated into this machine that we've got rolling.
And I know that in high school, you literally played everywhere, if I'm not mistaken. There's quarterback, tight end, of course, D-line, linebacker, safety. And then, am I right, kicker and holder? How
Yeah.
does that work?
I just did kickoffs, and then
Okay.
on point afters I'd hold it. Yeah.
All right.
I did a lot, but I couldn't hold my own kicks.
That'd be crazy. You'd be
Yeah.
truly an anomaly. But that display of athleticism just goes so far. Can you dive into how playing all those positions helps culminate you into an even better football player and just purely a stud tight end?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just being a quarterback, you learn how to learn uh, how to read defenses and stuff like that. So that's always going to help. And then in high school, our offense was really run heavy, so I had the ball in my hands all the time. So just learning how to make guys miss and just take care of the football and read blocks, read angles, stuff like that is all helped out. And it's not even just necessarily playing football that's helped out. It's being able to play multiple sports. I mean, being from a small town in Minnesota, I was able to play 4 sports my senior year, which I don't think is an experience that a lot of kids in high school don't get to have. But I think everything kind of contributed to just being an overall good athlete. And that's definitely something that I'm really thankful that I got to do in high school.
You talked about all the sports you played. Not only were you an amazing football player, but you were, if I'm not wrong, conference MVP in basketball. You were all section in baseball, captain in both of those sports, and you competed in the Knowledge Bowl. Is there anything in high school you just weren't the best at?
I don't know. Everything in high school came pretty naturally for me. I think it was, just being in a small town and just being, way bigger than everyone else. And school came easy, and I just was able to just do anything I wanted. I didn't have to focus on one sport. I didn't only have to focus on sports. I was able to, do fun stuff in school and stuff like that. So just having that freedom in high school to kind of do whatever I want. And, it was a great time, growing up in a small town.
So I'm curious as to what, who's been the biggest influence on your career thus far, and what's the best piece of advice that you've been given?
I'd say I got 2 big influences on my life. My first one would be my dad. In high school, he was, especially when recruiting started to pick up when I was in high school, he was my head football coach. He was my football coach all the way through. And, just like the willingness that he had to, push me, and he'd drive me to every visit, and he'd get me up to go and lift in the morning every morning, and he'd take me to camps, and he would, remind me to call coaches, text coaches, all that stuff. And, just because, he didn't really have a mentor like that when he was, going through college and stuff like that. He didn't know any of this stuff. So he really wanted to be that for me. So, on days when I didn't want to get out of bed or just wanted to, be a normal kid, he would really push me and say, like, how bad do you want this? How bad do you want to play at the next level? And, so I really have him to thank to where I'm at now. And then another person I have to thank is Coach Tyler Roll, my position coach, my tight end coach here at NDSU. I truly believe, being coached by him, he's the best tight end coach in the country. And just the amount of detail that he puts into his work and how detailed he is, and the time he takes with each of us in our room teaching technique and, just understanding the entire playbook, and, how much is on our plate and how he's able to guide us through that, and, still hammer home, like, everything that's important in our offense, and still make it fun, still make meetings enjoyable to come to. It's not just football all the time. It's, we laugh and we have a good time in our position group. So he's been just awesome, and, really good as I've been going through my injury and everything like that. So, just having good people in my circle like that has been awesome. And as far as, a good piece of advice I've been given is, I like to anytime I'm like feeling down or feeling like not doing anything, I just want to sit around and be lazy one day. I like to think to myself, so you're okay being average, you're okay just being okay. You don't want to be great. And that's something that kind of drives me to keep going is, I don't want to just be average. I want to be the best at everything I do. So, um, that usually works to get me going is like just telling myself like, okay, we don't want to be average here.
Yeah, as we've seen over the last few years, it's pretty tough to be just average at North Dakota State. As we all know, tight ends have to be one of the smartest football players on the field. Did your off the field work ethic, especially in the classroom, did that help you realize you need to be both the smartest person in the classroom and on the football field in the film room?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, being a tight end, you have to know all the receiver combinations as well as the whole O line blocking combinations and everything. So, other than the quarterbacks, I'd say we might have the most on our plate as far as the offense goes, and just having like good study habits, from high school and stuff like that, and school always came easy, and so learning the playbook came relatively easy when I was younger here. And just like developing good habits and being able to study and just learn this beast of an offense that we have. I think it definitely took some time, but it came pretty easy for me.
Now you've got the NFL size, you've got the athleticism that everyone desires. You're such a tenacious blocker, an excellent blocker, and maybe I'm not praising you enough when I only use the word excellent because it's truly amazing how great of a blocker you are. But for those that don't know much about your game, how would you describe your game to them?
I would definitely like to think physical. When it comes down to run blocking, to ever get on the field as a tight end here, you have to be able to run block, and you have to be a good run blocker before you ever even could want to get on the field for passing play. Like run blocking has to come first, and a lot of that comes down to coach role. I mean, just hammering home good technique, and there was just one point I think in my second year where it just kind of clicked all together at one time, and started just having like the footwork came together, the pad level, the flexibility. I think it all just kind of culminated into just this physical style play that I've been able to have the past few years.
And what's one trait that you're really looking to improve on?
Just overall route running, I would say. Just I'd like to, get the ball in my hands some more this year, and prove that I can make guys miss and just be explosive in the passing offense. That would be the number one thing that I want to prove this year.
It's nearly impossible to find success if you don't put time in the film room. As a tight end, what do you watch from both yourself and the opposing defenses to give yourself the leg up?
I really like to self scout a lot. I like to watch myself, and I'll watch practice. I'll watch games. I'll usually watch a game a few times just to see what I'm doing wrong, or just to kind of see if what I thought I saw in one play was correct, or if I should have done something differently. And I think just learning to understand defenses and coverages and fronts and how guys are going to play their gaps and stuff like that. Just any little thing that you can pick up on the film room to give yourself an advantage. And at the same time, being able to self scout yourself to just make sure that you are, performing at your best. And if something seems a little bit off in your game, just being able to then go out to practice that day and get it corrected.
Now, I know that you're laser focused on winning that next natty and bringing it back to Fargo, but this is huge season for you when it comes to the NFL and the NFL draft coming up. So I do want to ask you, with how loaded this tight end class is, you're right in there too, but what separates you from the other tight ends, and why should the franchise invest in you, Noah, as opposed to another tight end?
I think just overall my size and my physicality. I think a true on the ball, road grader of a tight end is kind of a dying breed. I think a lot of the tight end game now is even just being transitioned into big route runners. And, I think that true, like, road grader in the running game, I think that's a dying breed. And that's something that I really take pride in. And just obviously, I know this is going to be a big season, and I want to prove that it's not just that run blocking, but you can have the explosiveness in the passing game too.
You talked about this year being a massive opportunity. You also had the opportunity last year to go into the NFL drafts. You had the invite from the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. What made you decide to go back to Fargo for one more season?
It was unfortunate. I was planning on leaving, and then in our first round playoff game, I suffered an injury and fractured my fibula and did some serious damage to my ankle. So, just after talking with our training staff and a surgeon and stuff like that, it became pretty clear that I was going to miss a pretty significant chunk of time. So from then on, it became a pretty simple decision, that I would be able to come back for that 6th year and, give this thing another shot.
How has that road to recovery been? Like, how have you been doing these last few months? What have you been doing to, get to the best level of health possible and everything?
Yeah, it's been a slow road to recovery for sure. I mean, ankles are pretty tricky. And just being able to do whatever I can, whether that was in spring ball, obviously I couldn't participate, but still just being able to, see the defenses call and then see what our quarterbacks are seeing and seeing the way that the defense is playing it. And then I'm able to, pour out my knowledge into the younger tight ends in our room. And it's been a long road to recovery. And then also just still, now that I'm back healthy, just trying to continue to push myself to be the best athlete that I could be.
I want to go to one of my favorite things about North Dakota State, and that's the South Dakota State rivalry. It's one of my favorite rivalries in the entire sport. Talk to us about what that means for not only the two programs, but the cities and fans that they represent.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those rivalries that, no matter what the record of the teams are, it's always going to be a close game, no matter what. One team could be 3-5 and the other one's 8-0. And I still wouldn't, expect one team to blow the other one out. We're just so competitive with each other, and we always play each other really well. And it's obviously been really good. We've obviously the success we've had and the quality of teams that they're able to put together down there, and just that rivalry that we have together, just pushing each other, I think has made both teams better and just kind of led us both to the top. So obviously, there's no love lost there. We don't really like each other, but I think there is a level of respect there, just because we know like this is a high level of football that's being played.
When we spoke with Tucker Kraft the other day, he said he hates NDSU, but again, that word respect. He kept saying how much he respects you guys, how great the competition is. It's such a phenomenal rivalry, and it's not just at the FCS level. Like, all college football fans need to get acclimated with this tremendous rivalry and watch it this season. Hopefully, maybe in the national championship as well. That would be extraordinary. But I do want to ask something I ask to every player that we have on, whether it be this season or down the road in the future. What's one way that you plan on giving back to the community to help out those in need?
One thing that I did a ton in high school is I got involved with Special Olympics Minnesota. And that was an awesome experience, whether it was bowling or playing basketball with the kids, and just getting to do that, maybe once or twice a month, and just go out and hang out with these kids. And that's just so much fun. It's an awesome experience. And I think that's something that, hopefully down the road, I'll be able to get back to and continue to support that, because they're just doing awesome work.
Final question before we get into the pick six. Do you have a pregame routine that you go through, like, a certain type of music, a certain pregame meal, any superstitions that kind of get you ready for a game?
Yeah, I mean, I am pretty superstitious. I just every morning, get up, cup of coffee, and then go and have some meetings, and then it's over to breakfast, and then go and sit in the hot tub for a little bit, get dressed, and then go out to the field and get stretched out, play catch, and then go in the locker room, stretch out more, and then just, I mean, I got everything down to the minute when it comes down to these game days, you know. As far as music, I like to listen to some, you know, heavy metal, get me going, get my mind right. But other than that, you know, I don't have too much that's, you know, I think just kind of music, and then just staying with my routine. I found one that works a while ago, so I just will keep sticking with that.
That might be a tight end thing with the heavy metal, because that's
Yeah.
exactly what Tucker said.
That's also what Cody said.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Just kind of gets you into that, you know, that mood to go and, you know, kind of smash some face out there. I think that's kind of something that'll help you get your mind right before the game.
All right. And with that, we're going to move on to the pick six, which probably isn't the best name for interviewing an offensive player, but we're going to roll with it for now. First up, favorite food and least favorite food.
Oh, my favorite food would probably have to be tacos. I love tacos, any kind. Least favorite food, cottage cheese, man. You could not get me to touch cottage cheese. That stuff is so disgusting. I do not like it at all.
How about your favorite TV show?
Oh, my favorite TV show would probably be Peaky Blinders on Netflix. Last season just came out on Netflix, so I've been watching that. Really good show.
You've accomplished so much at North Dakota State, and you have so much more to accomplish this next season. But what has been your favorite memory up to this point?
Favorite memory would probably be, I don't know, in 2019, our first game of the season, we got to play at Target Field down in Minneapolis, and that was my first ever game that I was really playing a lot of reps and a lot of meaningful reps. And I was fortunate to have my first ever career catch for a touchdown in that game at Target Field, and I got it in the end zone, which would have been out in left field, right in front of where, like, obviously being a Minnesota guy, I had a lot of family at the game. I had like 60 friends and family sitting right in the end zone there, and I caught my first touchdown right in front of all of them. So that was really cool.
That's sick. That's tough to top. Now, I want to talk about the infamous leg dab. How did the leg dab begin? And are you and Lipke going to bring it to the NFL?
I certainly hope so. I mean, it's just like, you know, we're just being dumb dudes, and someone sees a funny video of a guy doing it, and so then we're all just laughing at it, and then we go out for pre-game warm-ups, and we're all trying it, we're doing it, and just laughing and having a good time. And you know, I scored a touchdown, and just felt right to go ahead and do it. And then, you know, I did it once against Youngstown, and then Hunter did it in the national championship game, and obviously got a little more recognition. But I just want it known that I did it first. I was the first one, even though his went a little bit more viral. But no, it's been good. Hopefully get to see a few more of those this year.
Hope so, indeed. Do you have a hidden talent that nobody really knows about outside of, you know, everything you've already done?
You know, since COVID, me and a few of my teammates have gotten super into disc golf. So we've been, you know, at least in the summers, once or twice a week, been going out and, you know, throwing some discs around and having a great time. We've actually gotten pretty darn good at it over the past 3 summers. So yeah, that's been really fun.
Cody's hidden talent as well was playing disc golf.
Yeah, me and Cody are pretty serious about our disc golf.
Maybe y'all will end up on ESPN 8 The Oak Show down the road.
We always joke around, if our disc golf career doesn't work out, then we have football to fall back on. So
that's great.
Yeah.
If you could catch a game-winning touchdown from any quarterback in football history, who's throwing you the dime for the win?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know. I mean, growing up a Minnesota sports fan, I guess those couple years with Brett Favre, you know, getting to see him play for the Vikings, and even when he was on the Packers, just appreciating him. just an absolute gunslinger with the ball. I think that would be really awesome to say that you caught one from him, or just like one of those NFL legends to just say like, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, someone like that, just to be able to say like, yeah, my first career touchdown was from one of these guys, or just one of his 600 career touchdown passes was to me. I think that would be pretty cool.
That'd be super dope. Now, how about some goals for this season, whether it be for yourself or for the team? We'll keep track of these and we'll update them throughout the season.
I think personally, I think I'd like to be named a captain again this year. I think that's my number one goal. Just to be voted captain by my teammates is a pretty big honor. And then as far as on the field stuff, I'd say just play my best games, stack good games on good games. I feel like I've had kind of sporadic good games and then some not so good games maybe. So just being more consistent in stacking really good games on top of each other. I think team wise, I think that winning the conference is always our first goal. Beating SDSU would be a great team goal this year. I think that's one that all of us really want. And obviously national championships are always the goal here. So I think those are our three big goals every season. So that's never really going to change.
I will be rooting so hard for you guys and unfortunately South Dakota State as well. I hope so badly that that's the natty matchup. I cannot envision the war that will take place on that field.
Yeah, I think the city of Frisco might run out of beer that weekend. I think it would be a different kind of weekend down there. And, I think there might be a few fights at the bars too, but obviously it's two really passionate fan bases. So seeing them on the biggest scale would be awesome.
All in respect to all respectful fights.
Right. Very civil debates. Yeah.
So we greatly appreciate you doing this interview, Noah. For those that are watching on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe. And please follow Noah on Twitter. We'll have his Twitter on the screen. So please go make sure to follow him. Let's get his Twitter some extra followers before he blows up this season and really, starts getting that excellent long career going. We know you have a bright future. We thank you so much for doing this. And yeah. Again, thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. I appreciate you guys so much having me on and, giving me an opportunity to come on here and just talk a little bit of football. Never get tired of it. So always down to talk some football.